And away we go. It is the nightcap brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar right here live from the Cincy Light Studios on BearcatJournal.com. Hail Mary Sports Bar located in Cheviot. They're right on Harrison Avenue inside the Dora District. You can walk from bar to bar with your drinks, or you can just hang out at Hail Mary's. They've got 27 TVs, a 9-screen video wall, and not a bad seat in the house. They subscribe to every sports package that DirecTV offers. They can stream all the games, and Cincinnati sports will always be on the video wall, including the UC Dayton game on Friday night. So make sure you get out to Hail Mary's, brand new draft lines, brand new walk-in cooler, and not only do they pour the coldest Cincy Light in town, but they do so in 32.8 degree beer frosted glasses. Also, Aaron, another word from our sponsor. If you missed your chance to pick up one of those sweet limited edition Cincy Light basketball tees at the Crosstown Shootout, don't fret. Ryan Geist is doing a second print, and you can pre-order until Friday, December 20th. Just go to the website. Also, if you have any Cincy Light fans on your Christmas list this year, head over to the Ryan Geist shop. Loads of Cincy Light gear to level up your bar cave. You can order online and pick up in the tap room in OTR if you're picking up last-minute gifts. So go support our friends at Cincy Light. Remember, when you buy a case of Cincy Light, Cincy Reigns gets like $2. When you buy merch, Cincy Reigns gets 50% of the proceeds. So a good way to help support Cincy Light, Cincy Reigns, and get yourself some fresh gear. All right, Aaron, let's get to it. It is Tuesday. It's usually Tuesday or Wednesday. We don't know exactly. And then I guess when the Big 12 starts and they play on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, probably like Thursday for talking about Talkin. But this week, with the game on Friday night, we get a Tuesday talking about Talkin. Wes Miller, Aziz Bandaogo. They didn't have any clue how to say his name in the Crosstown Shootout. Bandaogo, that's what it was. Bandaogo. Aziz Bandaogo. My kid wants to tell us what she did tonight before we get started.
I went to go see Jake. He's just such a good coach. Yeah.
You're so bad at this.
I don't care.
You gotta, if you're gonna talk, you gotta learn how to talk on the mic.
That's why she stays behind the camera.
All right, Aaron, take it away.
Talking with Coach Wes Miller. Ever since Sunday morning, the Bearcats have turned the page. The next opponent, UD, is one of the best teams in the country. That was deep, insightful. Dayton is incredibly well coached, a ton of guards. They're very skilled and tough. Their team has a great combination of retention and addition. Obviously, things that Coach puts a lot into. It is one of the elite teams in America, good on both offense and defense, not just one or the other. Preparation is important regardless of who you're playing. There's different challenges that he faces for every preparation. Last year, there were more Dayton fans than Cincinnati fans at Heritage Bank Arena, and they need all the help they can get. This was probably one of my favorite comments in the whole thing. He was appreciative, thankful, and grateful for the fan base, but he wants more consistency. He is going to be on the fans as much as he is on the players, and he wants to see more consistency out of the fans showing up, including Heritage Bank Arena. Aziz has a chance to be elite, as does Arrington Page. And the quicker they can get AP there, the better it is going to be for the team. Last year, Cincinnati just didn't play well, and Dayton played great. And there is no reason for Coach to think that this team won't be ready to play based on the Crosstown Shootout. That was in response to a question you asked, essentially asking if there was a chance for a hangover or a trap game. And he doesn't believe there's any chance for a drop-off. He said he didn't unconsciously make the decision to play Aziz more minutes, but it doesn't sound like it was a conscious decision either. They just saw how he was playing and they just left him in. That sounds like not, I mean, that to me sounds like you didn't necessarily make the conscious decision. It was just, you went with the flow of the game. You weren't thinking, I want Aziz
Yeah,
to
I mean,
play 33 minutes. It just is the way that the chips fell.
a lot of the time, all that stuff is scripted. Like when guys come in, when guys check out, But if you have a guy playing as well as Aziz was playing, while everybody else was struggling,
Right.
we're going to skip this rotation, and Aziz is going to stay on the floor. And when you do that once a half for like a 3-minute, shift, all of a sudden, 25 minutes turns into 31 minutes, and he didn't look like he was gassed, like he didn't look like he was sucking wind. So,
Well, and that's
keep
one of
him
the
out
things
there.
that's one of the things we've talked about with Aziz is the fact that when he is out there, I know one of the things that you've specifically voiced concern with is not necessarily his conditioning, but if he's just able to go for those long stretches without a breather, without taking some time off the court, and we certainly saw that he was able to do that. So I was impressed with his level of conditioning. Coach doesn't know if wisdom and experience really matter in a game. He said he doesn't know if it matters in coaching. He said 14 years ago he would have told you that it didn't matter a bit, but now, sure, maybe. I don't know. He just what a weird way to answer. He didn't want to put anything into one basket or the other. He just kind of
Right.
danced around the topic. He said if it does matter, he hopes that it favors us. Thanks, Coach.
Yeah. Nailed it.
He spoke about Connor Hickman. Yeah, said he had a great summer, great fall. They think he's terrific. They were never worried about him. So certainly didn't surprise them that he had some big moments in the crosstown shootout. Obviously, we all hope that that's where the trend continues.
I mean, the main thing is with Connor, like, undeniably, he hasn't shot the ball as well that as we had, thought that he was going to, but he's doing all the other stuff. Like he defended his ass off in that game. Like he's playing well in most of the aspects of the game outside of, being consistent so far with his 3-point shot. And that's the thing about, jump shooters. It's something that you don't do a whole lot of. And a great deal of success is under 50%. You shoot 40% from three, you're shooting really well from three, but you're limited sample sizes right now. The numbers aren't, massive. So you're going to have a little bit of fluctuation, a little bit of inconsistency. You'd like to see less of those games where he doesn't hit any, where he goes 1 for 4 or 1 for 3 instead of 0 for 3. But I think they're confident enough in him and his ability that, as long as he is doing the other stuff like he's supposed to be doing, they're confident the 3-point shooting will follow.
Well, I think when you see a guy who's averaging roughly 24 minutes a game, averaging roughly 6 points a game, and coming off of where last season he was at 16 and a half points per game, you expect probably a little bit more. The difference, though, in him not producing as far as points go is he does the things that we all want to see a Bearcat do. He is doing the gritty things, the stuff that is in between the numbers. He's doing, again, we've talked about this. I know I've brought it up in the past. He's got the deflections. He's got the, swiped balls that maybe they go out of bounds. So it's not counted as a steal, but it does disrupt the entire possession and they have to reset their offense and hope that they can get a shot off in time. So he's doing some of those things that he's been rebounding really well for a guard. So he just does the gritty things that we want to see Bearcats do. I think that's probably, truthfully, why the fan base didn't ever turn on him. I don't think that anybody was ever like, what are we doing? Get this guy out of town.
He doesn't look out of place. He's just not making jump shots at the clip that we thought he would.
So moving on. This was really funny because Coach interrupted his own answer. It was after this. He was proud of the way that Jizzle played, and that he never changed the way that he played the game. Compared Jizzle to his own playing experience, where he went 0 for 6 in a game that they lost by, I think he said 2, when he was at North Carolina, and he said it did get into his head, and he wasn't able to compose himself as a leader on the floor during that time. But Jizzle never really swayed in the way that he plays his game. But then Dan's defense on Conwell was crazy effective. Then he interrupted himself, said he hates the Zach Freemantle injury, and then interrupted that thought to talk about how great it was that the guys on the football team are coming back. Said that this team is going to be damn good next year. I think by my count, Coach cussed about 7 times in this one, even dropping shit at one point in time. He was getting after it in this one. But then he went back talking about Dan. Physically, Dan is great. His conditioning probably isn't there. He's still finding his rhythm and timing on offense. So things are going with Dan the way that we want.
It's interesting what a win can do for his mood, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Especially in a much better mood today.
Especially against that team. Aziz said last year there was a lot of adversity, but he does what he can control. He still does back rehab all the time, despite it only affecting a few games last year. So he says. Said it was really fun to be a part of the atmosphere in the shootout, and he needs to have the team essentially needs to have the same approach playing Dayton. Said he wasn't expecting to get 33 minutes, but when he was in there, he just did his best. And he plans on listening to the coaches on how to attack this next weekend. Said that they can't overhype this game. And again, back to approaching the game the same as they did with Xavier. He does have some French trash talk for sure. So that should be.
I was going to ask him to give us a sample of what French trash talk sounded like, but then I didn't want it to go wrong, where he said something and then somebody translated it, and then
nope.
I was tempted to be like, "What does French trash talk sound like?" And then I didn't.
Good job, Chad. But maybe somebody thinks that now you're not asking the tough questions. Coach was cussing. Who cares at this point? He said he does everything he can to be the best that he can be. He knows he's getting fouled a lot, so he's been focusing on the free throw shots, so much so that he, during water breaks, will be out there practicing free throws. And then he was asked if he even drinks water and if we need to be concerned that he's not hydrated enough during practice. But he said he is grateful to spend he said it was a grateful moment to spend time with the former players at the game, and that gave him motivation. So he's doing pretty well considering English is not his first language in these
he's
press
getting better.
Yeah, for sure.
He's funny. Like he got a great sense of humor. He's a funny dude. Like it's last year he was in a shit, like he wasn't comfortable in his.
There was a lot going on for him last year.
Yeah. And now you can tell like he's having fun. Like he's having a good time, and these guys are close, and they've got a chance to do some big things, and your mood is generally a lot better when you're winning. So hopefully that continues Friday night.
Did you want to touch on any of the guys that have joined the football team today?
Maybe we can do that tomorrow.
Just assess the portal tomorrow.
Do a little bounce around Big 12 football and basketball. West Virginia is playing right now. They're down 28-17 to Memphis at halftime. And then I saw Kansas State just lost to Drake. Not the rapper.
Drake?
They lost to Drake. Drake's 10-0. Drake is really good, but that's talking about what's upcoming. Cincinnati's first game in the Big 12 is at Kansas State. So just keeping an eye on that. So we'll hit on that stuff tomorrow and get you a look at what's coming up this weekend in the Big 12, and then we'll hit on the transfer. We're at 15 minutes. I don't want to start on it now.
I get it.
So we'll have plenty of time to get to it tomorrow. That's the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar, live from the Cincy Light Studios, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya.